Right now at 10, the Joplin Public Library is celebrating 120 years of serving the community, and 5 years at the 20th Street location. We'll take you to the party. Plus, we're heading to Pittsburgh as Pridefest continues in the city with a special vendor day, and Southeast Kansas Humane Society holds a microchip clinic for our furry friends. You're watching the KOAM News at 10, and it starts right now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Chris Warner. After some of us saw some late evening storms, everyone's seeing hot temperatures, including today. We're beginning with meteorologist Nick Kelly.
And we'll kick off with those numbers, those exact numbers, Chris, because that's what everybody had to deal with throughout the course of the day to wrap up the weekend. Even though it's been a quiet end of the weekend and quiet with this last look from sunset not too long ago from 7th and Rangeline, we did not cool off at all during the other night. We dropped back only to 78 this morning in Joplin, pushing a high of 95. But with all the humidity, not just the additional humidity coming in, but all the rain that was still trying to evaporate from goodness knows how long we've seen all that rain, it felt like 105 to almost 110 in some locations today. At least any heat advisories have fallen by the wayside tonight, but a lot of us will see them go back into action tomorrow and not expiring until we hit 8 o'clock on your Monday evening. Unlike last night, though, we're not seeing any thunderstorms entering the picture. This complex of storms you see rushing toward Hayes is going to be following along the jet, which thankfully we're underneath the upper level ridge. Even though that keeps us dry, it is not going to allow us to cool down once again tonight. Only dropping back to 79 degrees in Joplin. Everybody else upper 70s to near 80 to start the morning out, and easily back into the mid-90s again for tomorrow. Chris, we'll see what the humidity will do with these numbers and look at the rest of the week here in a few.
All right, Nick, thank you. Officials with the Grand River Dam Authority say they may have recovered the body of a missing man in Grand Lake. Around 8 last night, GRDA police officers received a call from boaters who said they spotted a body in the water. Officers arrived about a mile north of Pensacola Dam along Langley Bluff. Police say the clothing on the body matched the description of Troy Young of Bixby, Oklahoma, who was last seen leaving Cedar Port Marina on May 28th. Authorities say official identification will come from the Oklahoma Medical Examiner. MoDOT is seeking public input for a major upcoming project. Residents are being asked to fill out an online form discussing what they feel needs to be improved along 7th Street in Joplin from Schiffer-Decker to Rangeline. Some things they're looking at include pavement improvements, safety and traffic flow, and sidewalks. The work is scheduled for 2024 and 2025, and MoDOT is budgeting just under $30 million for the project. You can find more information, including a link on where you can go to input your comments at KOAMnewsnow.com. Joplin Public Library is celebrating their 120-year anniversary today. The library is the largest library between Tulsa and Springfield. They were joined today by Senator Bill White and other state representatives while receiving dedications from both offices.
We're very lucky to have the support that we have from the community, whether that be the individual citizens in the community, whether that be the city people, whether that be community organizations around town. We have a ton of community partnerships, and without that support, without that drive for people to partner and work with us, we would not be as successful as we are today.
The library now holds over 100,000 books. To end Pridefest Weekend, Pittsburgh, Kansas Pride hosted an event to bring local small businesses to show off some of their items. From baked goods, crafts, to homemade jewelry, these business owners support Pittsburgh Pride. Events were held all weekend to raise money for Pittsburgh Pride and to, of course, have some fun as well.
It's the coolest thing to be able to see so many queer people in one space. We don't always get to do that. You sometimes have to kind of be secretive about it, especially in places like the Midwest. And so getting to just be who you are in a space that accepts you and loves you is really awesome.
If you want to learn more about Pittsburgh, Kansas Pride, you can go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Southeast Kansas Humane Society hosted their first annual microchip clinic. For just $20, pet owners brought their dog or cat in to have the chip put just under their coat. The chip is the size of a grain of rice and only takes a few seconds to implant, and then you can go online and register with your information. The Southeast Kansas Humane Society is at full capacity and is waiving all dog adoption fees for next weekend, the 18th and 19th. All adoptable animals are up to date with shots, microchipped, as well as spayed and neutered.
So with this being a low cost, we're trying to get more tools to our community to get these animals, if they are lost, back to their homes.
If you need more information about adoption or fostering, you can check out this story on our website. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Alan Anderson, currently serving in the Air Force and has been in Kuwait, Qatar, and Afghanistan. His hometown, Carthage. And we're proud to recognize Alan Anderson, tonight's four-state hero. Coming up, we're bringing you another installment of Connecting Communities, talking with Becky Arnall about the upcoming Eternal Homes Tour in Joplin. This is the time-lapse of our Tower of Tower cams. This is sponsored by R.E. Smith Construction. It says work continues on the KOAM More Power project. So here's the thing, we're entering the next phase. So if your signal from KOAM or Fox 14 becomes glitchy next week, maybe it's a little weak, the good news is it's a sign of progress. We're going to be broadcasting from a lower powered temporary antenna while a crew installs a new, more technically advanced, much more powerful antenna at the top of our tower. It's the final step in this major project. And this will allow some of our viewers who previously lost our signal to be able to get us once again. And if everything goes to plan, we'll be back up and stronger than ever by the end of June. More information at koamnewsnow.com/power. We are back now for something we haven't done in a minute. It's another Connecting Community segment. This one's a little bit different. We're joined by Becky Arnall, who's she does a number of things in the community. And there is a big deal getting ready to come up here next weekend, actually. So what do you have going on?
Correct. Well, for today I'm here with representing Dream Theater Company, and we are working with Historic Murfreesburg Preservation, and we are doing cemetery tours at Mount Hope Cemetery in Webb City. And so these will be open mausoleums to those who purchase tickets and come through.
And so what exactly will this entail? So you're going to have the tours and open mausoleums. That sounds a little spooky just off the top. But
right?
What exactly are you guys going to be doing? What are people going to get if they go out here?
So the guests will be able to come, and actually even prior to our thing that's going from 3 to 8 o'clock, there is another workshop earlier than that. It starts at 10 a.m. and it is about restoration of tombstones. And so they're going to walk people through how to best take care of them and that kind of thing. And then from 3 to 8, we will be opening the mausoleums. So guests can come through and they'll all receive a map of the cemetery. They can come and go as they please, and they can check out all of the architecture. But while they're there, Dream Theater Company will be there in costume, representing different people who were involved with, knew, or maybe even the influencers of early Joplin themselves. And that way you're getting a little bit of history as well as getting to see the inside of all of these mausoleums and crypts.
Gotcha. And I know you were showing me this, which is from an earlier one of these tours.
Correct.
I imagine you don't have the entire list of people committed to memory, but who are some of the more notable people that will be featured along this tour?
Sure, absolutely. We have performers working for the Rogers Mausoleum, the A.H. Rogers Mausoleum. We're going to be talking about Blackwell. We also reach over from the Joplin area, those who lived in Murfreesburg, but also those who kind of participated in the growth of the community. So there are names like Shimmerhorn that are relatively, well known in the area. So that mausoleum will be open, and there'll be people talking about his life as well. Of course, Schifferdecker is a big one, and he has one of the larger mausoleums in the cemetery. And so there will be performers there talking about his life and things that he had done for the community. We will also have, actually portraying Patrick Murphy, we will have a performer there as Patrick Murphy, of course the founder of Murfreesburg himself, to be there and talk about just early Joplin, what his life was like, and the cemetery itself, because a lot of them were founders of putting money forth for the cemetery to be created.
How many years have you all been doing this? How long has this been going on?
Well, that is a big question, because we've been working with Murfreesburg actually since Dickens Fest. And so our relationship with working with Murfreesburg and our interest in local preservation really came from that introduction. And so that was long ago. We're talking almost 10 years as far as that partnership goes. And so different things, different opportunities have popped up for us along the way. We also run historic ghost tours in the fall from our location in downtown Joplin. And so a lot of the knowledge that we have held from giving those tours kind of translates over when we're offered these sort of opportunities. And so that knowledge, in addition to what Historic Murfreesburg has supplied us with and things like that, we're being able to take local performers and not only give them opportunity to perform, but we're also teaching them about sharing local history and keeping it alive.
Why is it so important to do that? I mean, I know you drive through Joplin, you drive through Webb City, you drive through these communities, you see there's streets named for these people, there's parks named for these people. People who live here just say, oh, Schifferdecker Park. Oh, I live on Moffett. Oh, I've gone to Schimmerhorn Park. Why is it important to keep their names alive and to remember this history?
It is one of my things beyond theater is local history that I get very excited about, specifically preservation of it. I was born in Joplin. I went to school here. This is where I'm raising my children. And so it's important to me to know what is not only our local history, but to share that with the next generation. And so part of things like this cemetery tour or our historic ghost tours in the fall is taking those stories and sharing the parts that you might not learn about in history class to make it a lot more exciting and eventful for a whole younger audience. And that way we're going to be able to do things like preservation throughout. The more people will get on board for understanding the importance of keeping those things alive.
Gotcha. And for more information, you mentioned that there are tickets that you can purchase. What do people need to know about that?
So if you just go to murfreesburg.org, historicmurfreesburg.org, you can purchase your tickets from there. And there are different options. You can get one that is just for the earlier workshop about the restoration of tombstones, but you can also get one just for the afternoon mausoleum tours, or there's a combination ticket for a discounted price, so you can do all the things during the day.
Excellent. And you mentioned there's the 10 a.m. workshop and then tours that are from 3 to 8. So,
yes.
And this is Saturday, June the 18th.
Yes, that's it.
Perfect. Becky, thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. I was going to say people can come and go as they would like. And so even though that's a big gap of time, depending on the weather and how they feel, there will be food trucks and things out there. There will be places to get drinks and things. So you just kind of get a map of the cemetery and you make the afternoon for yourself.
That makes it a lot more convenient too, because you can, like you said, go as you please. So, Becky, thank you so much for joining us. We've got information, of course, on our website as well. A little later on the news at 10, dinosaurs, fighter jets, superheroes, and animation. It's definitely summer at the box office if the temperatures didn't tip you off. We'll have the latest in our box office review.
And speaking of those temperatures, it's going to be hot and humid again for tomorrow. We'll see if that's the trend for the rest of the coming week when we come back. After some of us had to deal with some thunderstorm chances late last night and very, very early this morning, it was a day where it definitely looked nice to be out and about. Can't deny it was a quiet end of the weekend, but we just couldn't escape the heat and humidity. We had lower 90s the other day. Only the upper 70s for overnight lows. It was still warm and muggy as we went through the overnight and towards sunrise this morning, and then back in the mid 90s. And that gives you another idea of where we're going once again as we go into tomorrow to kick off a new work week. With that said, though, at least we don't have anything threatening on the horizon, so we don't have to worry about any thunderstorms coming our way tonight. The heat advisories that we had during the day and the excessive heat warnings for parts of northeast Oklahoma, those have expired. But a lot of us are going to see them kick back into gear, especially the heat advisories taking us through Monday afternoon until we hit about 8 o'clock on your Monday evening. At least from 7th and Range Line, this view has been quiet all day long, all evening long, and that's exactly how it's going to stay throughout the course of the night. But it's the quiet skies again in the building upper level ridge that pushed us near 90 already by the lunch hour today. Everybody went maybe some lower 90s in our northern counties to mid 90s across the area, and that throwing the humidity into the mix, it felt like 107, 108 at the hottest point in the day. And even before the top of the 10 o'clock hour, we're still sitting in the mid to upper 80s. These are numbers we should not see late at this night until we go into July. And also, adding insult to injury, the humidity making it feel like the mid 90s to almost 100 still after sunset on this Sunday night. Fortunately, we're keeping quiet this time around for tonight, even though we're seeing thunderstorms working across western parts of Kansas. With this warm front to surface lifting north, that's going to continue to keep them away from us. and the way the upper levels are shaping up. This upper level wave passing to the north, that's how the thunderstorms will steer to the north of the region for tonight. So it's all about this big blue H upstairs. That is your main culprit for yet another hot and humid day for tomorrow. Before we deal with that though, any clouds from those dying storms out west will just pass on through. Partly cloudy to mostly clear skies, no threatening weather, thankfully, as we go through the overnight. But again, we don't drop off very much. Upper 70s to near 80 once again to start your Monday morning out, and then partly to mostly sunny skies for tomorrow. Couple that with a good breeze coming out of the southwest, we are definitely going to see the temperatures warm back up, no problems. We have 79 at 6 a.m., 90 by noon, and highs pushing back near 95 with that southwest wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Then we'll have to deal with again, upper 70s going into Tuesday morning, and maybe a little bit cooler for Tuesday afternoon. Highs in the lower to middle 90s. But as far as the humidity goes, those numbers are back up there tomorrow. It'll feel like 102 to almost 109 across much of the area. And with a little bit of a drop in the humidity, this is going to feel like maybe the mid to upper 90s as we go into Tuesday. But mainly we're underneath this upper level ridge to take us through much of the week until a shift in this could bring a few thunderstorms our way by the time we hit Thursday and Friday. We'll keep them minor, those thunderstorm chances, but the main story is the heat and humidity, Chris. 95 tomorrow, 77 Tuesday morning, 93 for Tuesday, lower 90s through Friday, and then maybe upper 80s returning for highs by Saturday and Sunday.
Now, see, these temperatures are pretty toasty. What worries me is you say maybe upper 80s. So is there a chance it might warm right back up again this weekend?
Well, we'll still be under the upper level ridge. I mean, if it doesn't weaken, we'll stay near 90, but hoping we get a little bit of a weakness in that ridge. And yeah, fingers crossed for that one.
All right, well, we will keep our fingers crossed. Nick, thank you so much. Turning to sports, Oklahoma putting their season on the line today.
It's Game 3 of the Blacksburg Super Regional. Those highlights coming up. Plus, St. Louis goes for the series sweep. That and more next. Pittsburgh Post 64 returns to action today for a consolation game in this weekend's regional showcase. The Patriots went 1-1-1 in pool play. Today, Post 64 meets Carl Junction for their final game of the weekend. The Patriots ended on a high note, beating the Bulldogs 8-2. Caden Harrison pitches 5 innings and strikes out 5 batters. Peyton Morrow puts together a nice day at the plate, a double, a triple, and 3 RBI. Oklahoma is 1 win away from their first trip to the College World Series since 2010. The unranked Sooners must beat 4th-ranked Virginia Tech one more time to punch their ticket to Omaha. It's a decisive Game 3 here in the Blacksburg Super Regional, and the Sooners waste no time. Tanner Treadaway crushes a first-inning bomb to left. Oklahoma has an early 2-0 lead off of 2 homers. And then in the 4th, Treadaway blasts his second home run of the day. He goes 4 for 5 with 2 homers and 2 doubles. It's 5-2. Bottom half, Jack Hurley hits it high and deep into foul territory, but Kendall Pettis makes a ridiculous catch there for the out. He holds onto it as he's flipping over the wall. What a catch. And then he delivers at the plate. This one is a solo shot. Oklahoma runs away with it, and the Sooners win 11-2. Game 2 of the Chapel Hill Super Regional between the Tar Heels and Razorbacks. Jalen Battles starts the scoring off in the 4th, rips a double down the line. Chris Lanzilli scores from first. Next inning, Arkansas extends their lead. Braden Webb homers to right center, makes it 2-0 Arkansas. It's a battle though to the end. Bottom of the 9th, tie game, 2 on. Slavens walks it off. He singles in the gap. Arkansas celebrates a sweep. They're headed to the College World Series. 4-3, the final. Cards go for the series sweep against the Reds today. 3rd inning, Nolan Arenado hits a 2-run homer to left just over the wall. That's number 11 on the year. Makes it 3-0 St. Louis. Next inning, Reds tie it up. TJ Friedel lines a single to right. Run scores 3-3. Later, Albert Pujols makes the score even once again. This one all the way back to the warning track. Hops over for a ground rule RBI double. Back and forth the game goes. Tommy Pham goes deep. Cards score 2 in the bottom of the 9th, trying to walk it off for the second straight night. But tonight they come up short. St. Louis falls 7-6. The Royals close out a 4-game set with the Orioles today. Kansas City shows some fight, but Baltimore is able to hang on to win 10-7 and split the series. Hunter Dozier goes 4 for 5 today with 2 RBI and 2 runs scored. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
A string of deadly mass shootings is spurring Congress to take action. Today, a bipartisan group of senators said they've reached an agreement for legislation to limit some gun sales while funding school security and mental health programs. Elise Preston reports from New York.
Senate negotiators have struck a deal to move forward on gun control. On Sunday, lawmakers announced a framework for new laws to keep firearms out of the hands of potentially dangerous individuals.
Gun control!
The announcement came a day after protesters gathered in several cities to demand stronger gun laws.
Our message isn't that we hate all guns. It isn't that we are against the Second Amendment. It's to keep our communities safe.
20 senators signed a statement expressing support for the plan. Texas's John Cornyn was one of 10 Republicans to endorse it. Their involvement is seen as critical to getting any bill through the deadlocked Senate.
If it's life-saving and can make a difference, and they have bipartisan support for it, then we would welcome it, even though it won't be everything that we want.
The deal includes no provisions for raising the minimum age to buy a gun. It does propose spending billions of dollars on mental health care and school security. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
On Sunday, the NRA said it would not respond to the framework announcement until it sees the full text of any proposed gun control bills. We'll be right back. Dinosaurs, fighter jets, superheroes, and animation. It's definitely summer at the box office. Here's David Daniel with early estimates for the weekend's top 5 films.
Hey, look, it's a cat stuck in a tree.
The Bad Guys have spent 8 weeks in the top 5. $2.25 million put the animated adventure at $92 million domestic. The Bob's Burgers movie slid to 4th, earning $2.3 million in its 3rd weekend out. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness made $4.9 million for 3rd place and a domestic total of $398 million. Top Gun Maverick lost the top spot as expected, but $50 million put the long-awaited sequel at $393 million domestic, poised to pass Doctor Strange as the top-grossing movie released in 2022.
We made a terrible mistake.
Jurassic World Dominion arrived with a roar. Despite weak reviews, the final film in the latest Dino trilogy opened strong with $143.4 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
I, of course, remember seeing the original Jurassic Park. We talked about this last weekend, but it was just such a good, believable movie, so I'm looking forward to seeing this one.
Yeah, you even heard me before we came back that the actor gave the line, "We made a terrible mistake."
Yes.
It's like, you did 30 years ago when the first one came out, so why do they keep doing it again?
They did, and they still kept going. Nick, terrible mistake, I hope, in your forecast, but I don't think that's the case.
No, I wish these were all typos, but we are back in the mid-90s tomorrow with another hot and humid day, hopefully edging back on the thermostat through the course of the week.
Danny, quick check in sports.
Arkansas and Oklahoma still competing in the postseason. They're headed to the College World Series.
All right, guys, thank you so much. That's our time for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. Thanks for making us part of your night.